Hello, it's the Randy Duck and welcome back for another video. This time I've got two replays for you in the Tiger Shark. I think I had one replay of this tank in my last Decent Defeats video. But this time I've got two replays solely on the tank. And it's two very different types of game, different ways you can play a light tank. The first one, which we've got here today, bottom tier here, and it's all going to be about the assistance damage. While the second game's going to be the opposite. So we're here platooned up with Petty 360. Like I say, we're bottom tier or Malavanka. And yeah, we're going to see what we can do. So we're going to go to our initial bush. I like to just have a quick little check out at the start. But I'm thinking this bat chat's already here. So I'm going to try and move on. I do take a little bit of a gamble by that approach, but I wanted to get there quickly. I didn't want to waste too much time. I do get spotted because that Hawk 12 is in the middle of the field. He's actually not my spot. I'm hoping he gets taken out because he's a bit of a frustrating position. And thankfully Petty actually just managed to shut him down for me. I don't manage to pick up any assistance on him. You can see when I poke this ridge, what I like to do is reverse up to the ridge. And poke it, just so it's the quickest way out. I always recommend doing that. I come up this ridge here, hit the handbrake, and now we can reverse out. And if we get spotted, if we get lit up, it's a lot quicker to get out of there, a lot less likely to take any damage in return. So start of the game, we picked up 400 assistance, not too bad. We know there's more tanks there. A lot of our, we're quite evenly spread. A lot of stuff's gone down the one line. A reasonable amount of stuff's gone to the hill. I poke up quite far here to try and maximise my view range, and it was a bit of a gamble, and I do take a shot in return. So yeah, it was a bit of a risk, but it kind of paid off because I've hit in one shot and I've done, just got over 1,000 assistance now. I was trying to maximise my view range to see if I could spot anything which sometimes camps in the sort of the building area as well, because I know if I do spot them up like I just here, you can pick up a lot of assistance, and this has gone quite well so far. And I think at this point in the game I was thinking, oh, I've got 3,000 assistance and the game's just started. I'm going to kind of see how much assistance we can get out of this, and go for one of those games. So because of the positioning of our team on the hill, I know I've got a little bit more freedom to push up here at the moment. And I know if I spot these things down the bottom, they are going to get shot from the hill, or at least they're going to be presented with shots on the hill. Obviously, I can't control what they shoot at, but at least I'm presenting them a target. So I managed to do that, push through. I didn't get any assistance there, but I got a few spots. Hopefully people might be a bit aware where they are again. I'm going to lose my spot for a second there because it's getting a bit hairy, and then I'm going to go back again and see if we can try and spot them up for a second time. Obviously I know I've got Petty 360 with me, so I know I'm going to at least have one gun shooting my targets. He's in the Vindicta, so it doesn't have the biggest alpha, but it does have insane DPM, basically. It has good camo, crazy DPM. The position of our team's quite nicely. We've kind of taken control of a lot of the sort of map at this point. So I've allowed me to push into a sort of more advanced position now. We do spot this bat chat. We're actually going to use our gun and see if we can get a few shots in, because I don't think many of our team were shooting him at that point. So I thought, I've got an opportunity. Bat chat's dangerous tank. Let's try and get a few hit points off of him with this 3-shot auto loader. So yeah, so what's it been? A few minutes into the game, 3k assistance, 700 damage. It's not been too bad. We are trying to light up the stuff in the buildings. We spot that standard B. We do pick up quite a bit of we started to pick up a bit of assistance there from that guy. A lot of the enemy team is in the 1-2 line, so that's something to be aware of. I may have to go back and try and intercept those guys in a bit. But now our machine has pushed sort of closer towards us. There's no point staying in the same location because I wasn't really going to get any assistance if they are, they exactly the same spot, because they'll probably be spotting what I am. So I tried to push forward to get a little bit more, which I did, but now I need to react, and I need to spot the guys which are going down the 1-2 line, and potentially if I get this right, and I actually manage to spot those guys up, I'm on 4k assistance, the guns are going to be looking at them, and we're going to probably, we've got a good chance of picking up a big chunk of assistance now. we sort of, you know, it's a pretty close game, to be fair. I think at this point I was thinking that going in that bush at the top, but now I realise I've got to move close forward because they're not lit up. I don't want them to get too close to our enemy team. Really, I want to be able to spot them so our team can shoot them unlit. That's the best way I'm going to make, you know, if I catch them in the open here, it's the best chance of getting the assistance. So that's exactly what happened. I've just spotted this 60 TP and the other enemy tank there in the middle of the map, and you can see here I'm picking up a lot of assistance because they've got caught out in a really compromising position. With all our guns looking at them, and now I'm getting close to that 10k mark, and I'm thinking, oh, I really want the 10k assistance game. Let's see if we can make it happen. I know there's an IS4 around here somewhere. We obviously spotted them earlier. Again, we've caught them out here in a really compromising position. It is risky that I don't get shot from the other side of the map, but we sort of, you know, we dealt with a lot of their guns earlier, and I'm kind of thinking the majority of the team are either right close to the hill or over here where we managed to get assistance there. And there you see we just got, I need 500 more assistance now to get a 10k game. So I really want to get that 10k game. I'm rushing as quickly as I can where, you know, where the enemy team's got to be, because we've cleared out that area now. So Leicester really camping down in that K line. I suspect they're around the base. And there is that CS59 medium. There's two artilleries. I don't shoot this artillery just yet because I'm giving my team a chance to shoot and see if I can get assistance, but I realised I wasn't picking up the assistance from that guy, so I took the shot. Again, I was waiting, and then I thought, oh well, it's a fun play, so I went for the track wheel to see if that would give me the extra bit of assistance I needed. But unfortunately it doesn't. I do pick up a tiny bit of assistance, so I suspect it was from the artillery. But it doesn't look like I'm going to get my 10k assistance, but it's close enough. It's close enough. And there you go. That's it for the first replay. Like I say, it's very different to the second replay I'm going to show you. But we pick up in the end 1,000 damage, 1 kill, and pretty much 10k assistance. It does only be a first class, just because I think, you know, the assistance you tend to get a lot more for the damage, but nonetheless, you know, that's a really decent game for a light tank, you know. So I hope you enjoyed that one, and if you stay tuned, we've got the second replay, which, you know, is the opposite to this replay. Okay, so thanks for staying with us. Here we are for the second replay on Sand River on the decent spawn. And like I said, this is the replay which focuses more on damage, so the complete opposite of the game we've just had. So there is no fun police on this game, thankfully, and that's going to allow us to use this ridge line up the top with a little bit more security. You know, knowing that I've only got to protect myself from the enemy guns which can see me, you know, physically have shots on me. I'm not going to get shot from above. That's just going to allow a lot more freedom. You know, I don't have to change my place, adjust my place after the artillery in this one. So this is a decent spawn because, like I say, you can spot the enemy crossing here when they take the shortcut. The other spawn is just nowhere near as good, and quite often, I'd say more often than not, when you get this position as early as I just did, you usually spot a tank, you know, or two crossing and get a little bit of cheeky early damage off. So we do manage to get sort of 3 shots of damage there, which is nice. Get our first clip off, and you know, this gun, this Tiger Shark, by the way, is superb. It's got a short reload for the 3-shot autoloader, and yeah, it's really decent. It's quite a damage dealer actually. It can really kick out a lot of damage if the game allows you to. I pulled back there because I was lit. It's getting a little bit contested up here, you know, a bit more like a car park at the moment, which can sometimes lead to people bumping into each other, trying to get out of the way of shots. Sometimes you get blind shot because they're shooting at a different target. But it is just where it is, you know, people trying to use a decent position, so you can't blame them. It's just that situation. At the moment, it's not looking like our position is fantastic as a team, because we've kind of left the whole other side of the map undefended, and it is starting to ring a few alarm bells that this could potentially be awkward. So I'm trying to get as many shots in, you know, where I can from this position, because I managed to get just over 1,000 damage. I'm just hoping that when they engage our team on the right, we'll be able to get a few shots in. But I am very alert of the situation that is of the enemy base, and I may have to make a decision at the moment. I was going to try and get a few shots in just to try and thin the herd as they try and advance our base. But that's not really working out too well. So then I thought I'd go in on that G-Saw, but the second I did that, this SDA-1 poked up, and I thought I don't want to be engaging both tanks, so I'm gonna pull back here, get a couple of shots in. And now this is where I've really got to start thinking, because they're going to be in our base at any time. I'm trying to work out the best way to deal with that. And I'm thinking what I'll probably end up doing is going and helping our team on the 1-2 line to try and get some help clear that off. But before I do that, these tanks get spotted out right in the open. I get a right result in the clip there, taking out 2 tanks in 1 clip. Which has obviously helped with the numbers. It's been pretty even all the way through, but they are about to go in our base. But if I help them kill the 1-2 line, then you can actually defend the base quite nicely from there. And so what I essentially want to do is free up our guns in the 1-2, because at the moment they're a lot of the tanks are focusing on these heavy tanks in front of them. So I really want those to be destroyed as soon as I possibly can, because once they're destroyed, I'll know that it's freed up the guns to turn around and defend the base if we need to. As it stands, the enemy team haven't started a cap timer. I think it's because of the position of our TD in the medium. It's kind of keeping them engaged for long enough for me to come and deal with this heavy, which is quite nice, because it's then going to allow me that I've got a lot more time to get back. So we're going to come in. He's not looking at us. He's trying to turn, but we're going to be able to get around him. It's not a problem. We'll get our full clip in there, and then the T20 finishes them off. That's put us on to just shy of 3k damage. It's 6-6, it's even across the board. And this is a good position to be now. Now we can go back and defend this base. I'm not concerned they're going to cap us out. It's not a problem. The Vanguard's a bit of a pest, but he is low health, same with this Aguila. So we can take out the 2 light tanks as a priority here. Then I'm going to feel pretty comfortable we'll be able to get the win once those tanks are destroyed. We're taking out 1, the Vanguards come in. We sort of fluff our shot, but we do sort of ram him. He takes a little bit of damage. He's fluffed a couple of his shots, and then he gets shut down here, thankfully, by a CS-53. And at this point of the game, I'm now confident that we should be able to get the win, because this is where the light tank is really at its best, when there's no enemy light tanks in the game, and then on a map like Sand River, we've got lots of freedom to move about. We are down to our heat shells there. That's why we did the Zorb one in the tracks. But the heat shells aren't as bad on this tank as standard heat shells, because they do have high shell velocity. They're actually, funny enough, the velocity on the heat shells, I think I probably mentioned in my last video, but they're actually quicker than the standard APCR rounds on this tank, which I'm not too sure should be the case, but that is the case. We go for centre mass of the tank now, avoiding the tracks to make sure we take out that poor tier 6 there, putting us on just shy of 4k damage. Now I want to time my reload the best I can, so I just reloaded when I go in on this Trinity. It is the ideal situation, so I'm basically not wasting any time then. And then the second I've gone in, my guns are reloaded. I've not wasted any time on the reload. I've made up a bit of the reload by my advance of the tank, and it's just clean up time now. There is a G-Saw and there's a standard B. Obviously the G-Saw is a dangerous tank. I'm hoping to go around the back of them here, thinking of trying to get a few shots in. The G-Saw's nasty because it can get his shots off so quickly. So I'm hoping that he's not paying attention here and I can get a few shots in from behind. But as we go round, I was, unfortunately, the G-Saw is there and I start to panic. We've got 1 shell left, but fortunately we managed to take him out when he came round on us. And that was lucky, but sometimes you need a bit of luck, don't you? Now we're in the situation against the SCA2, and I'm in a good situation because I can actually eat 1 shell off of him unless he ridiculously high rolls, and that's all I needed to do. Knowing that you can eat a shot, that's why it's good to start to try and remember what the alpha of other tanks are, because at that situation you can go, look, I can't carry all my hit points to the end of the game. I've got 3 shots in this clip. I can easily beat his reload with my second shot. so I just have to eat one shot and I'm going to kill him. That's how I play a lot of the time. But there you go, that's the end of the replay. We've got 5 kills, 5,000 damage, 500 assistance. Yeah, complete opposite of the last game. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the 2 replays. And as always, happy tanking.
Enemy in sight! Hadouken!